It's an existable temperature outside again. The grass is not green. I do not have plants again yet. But the coffee is iced and the birds are making sounds. So I want to do nothing but be outside once again. What does being camera ready mean? Today, not much for me. And I'm okay with that. Instead of cleaning my patio and sweeping it, I want to sit here on a dirty patio and do crafts. So let's do that.
I started with some premium materials like these grapevine wreaths and some wrapped wire. These little seeds disintegrate in water, so I pulled them off of the wrapped wire. I don't intend on them being part of the finished product, although they could be cute in something else. I'm snipping a quarter of the wreath away. If you notice, I don't leave the edges really blunt like this. I like to trim them into a finer point. It's time consuming, but I think it really changes the look of the wreath at the end, and it's worth it. This step is a little bit weird and probably not necessary at all. I don't know if it actually makes any difference, but it makes me feel better about it. I take some of the edges that I cut off and I like re-stuff them into the other side to make that crescent shape a little bit more full in the middle and finer at the points. I just like the contrast it gives. It really refines the shape for me. I'm going to use this wrapped wire to reinforce everything that I stuffed in there and help it hold its shape better. And it can also just serve as another anchor point for glue once I'm finally gluing things in. Lots of trimming. Plastic flowers or faux flowers always seem to come with these long plastic stems. I think they're mega annoying. I wish I could buy just the flowers on their own because that's the only part I ever use. I started by kind of just piling up the flowers and color palettes that I intended so that I had a basic plan of what the big centerpiece of each wreath would be and how I would fill it out. Here's a cuter use for those little seeds, and this wreath will probably be hung up inside, so I wanted to keep with really fresh colors on this one, very springtime, a lot of light things, and then the next one that I made was darker jewel tones for more contrast. I love this moss. It's real dehydrated moss. You can buy it at any florist or craft shop. I've even seen it for sale at game shops with like Dungeons and Dragons or tabletop gaming terrain, but it's way more expensive if you're buying it for terrain, so just buy it with other fake flower stuff. Alright, just a few more touches. I'm filling any gaps. And now I'm ready to start this one. This one has deeper colors, so it's almost like a late summer moving into fall color palette for me. Gold, dark green, purple, black. What do those colors make you think of? I changed out the fake succulent to this reddish toned one because I used two identical flowers in the middle of the last one I made, and I didn't want this one to look just the same. I like using the long branches of flowers to go to the corners. They really emphasize the arch shape. I'm using high temperature hot glue because it's a little bit better about melting the backs of fake flowers, but I do have to be more careful about holding pieces in place while they dry. Just for those few seconds to like really press them into the grapevine. Some of these fake flowers I've had for a long time, so this is a really good activity if you have leftovers. You can look at this color palette and kind of tell that it came from leftovers, but one thing I've done with flower crowns is I've even painted fake flowers, and if you wanted to do that, you could do this really easily on a crescent moon wreath. Just water down some acrylic paint or use textile medium. I made 2 whole wreaths and then I thought I lost the footage, but I hadn't. So I made a 3rd one, and here's that. Alright, so loose pile of flowers. This is the kind of color scheme I want to go with for this one. And I think I might make this one face the other direction, just because that kind of contrast might look nice. Some are waxing moons, some are waning moons. I actually thought I had lost the footage of making the other 2, so I just went ahead and made a 3rd one because I was still sitting there and I thought I hadn't been recording, but I had been.
I don't really like the shitty moon for it.
If that's any insight to my creative process, there you go.
That is good. That is going to be overpowering. I'll set this big flower aside for something else. These ones I think will look really.
I'm actually really glad that I made this 3rd one. I think it turned out really cute. I love the colors that I chose for it. And I think it turned out better than the first 2 because of the practice I had. Sometimes it's all about creatively warming up and getting into the zone. And when I was making this one, I was definitely in the zone. I was way more prepared than I was making the other 2.
Yeah. It's pretty promising looking.
Sometimes I do think about how easy it would be to go take fake flowers from a graveyard. That is just a thought that occurs to me. I would do crafts with them. Sustainability. I've never done it before, but the thought has occurred to me. Yes, this one came together beautifully. I don't know, just so much more cohesive. It might be my favorite of the ones that I made. Except, you can really tell that the sun was setting as I made this because, ooh, it is starting to look dark. Oh my gosh, yeah, okay, the sun has set, the light is gone, but I did finish, so that's worth something.
Thank you for enjoying this today. I hope you had fun watching. I had a great time making these, and I would love if you checked out my content on Ko-fi. That's the best way to allow me to continue to make content right now. Ta! Till next time.